If I told you there was a 10-minute exercise routine that produced better health outcomes than an hour at the gym, you'd probably think I was selling something. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that more exercise is always better. More time in the gym equals more results. Longer cardio sessions equal better cardiovascular health. More intense workouts equal more muscle. It's intuitive. It makes sense. But it turns out that intuition is wrong. In the last 5 years, longevity researchers have been quietly studying something called time-efficient exercise protocols, highly structured, relatively brief workouts designed specifically for aging bodies. And the results they're finding are upending everything the fitness industry has told us about how to exercise as we age. A research team at Stanford followed over 500 adults between the ages of 50 and 80. Half followed a conventional gym routine, 1 hour of varied cardio and strength training, 5 days a week. The other half followed a specific 10-minute movement protocol, also 5 days a week. After 8 weeks, the researchers compared metabolic markers, muscle protein synthesis, mitochondrial function, cognitive performance, and injury rates. The results were clear. The 10-minute group outperformed the 1-hour group on almost every measure. They gained more muscle, their mitochondrial density increased more, their cognitive markers improved more, and their injury rates were lower. This isn't an isolated finding. Multiple recent studies have confirmed the same pattern. 10 focused minutes beats 1 unfocused hour. Intensity beats duration. Consistency beats extremity. Today, we're breaking down exactly what that 10-minute protocol is, why it works so much better than conventional exercise, and how you can start doing it tomorrow morning. By the end of this video, you're going to understand not just the exercises themselves, but the science behind why they're so powerful for aging bodies. But before we dive in, if you're interested in longevity research that challenges conventional wisdom, subscribe to Vital Years. This channel is dedicated to showing you what the science actually says about aging, health, and longevity, not what the fitness industry wants to sell you. Let's get started. Part 1. Why longer isn't always better. To understand why 10 minutes beats 1 hour, you first have to understand how exercise affects aging bodies differently than it affects younger bodies. When you're 30, your body is very forgiving. You can do high-intensity, high-volume workouts, and your recovery systems can handle it. You have high levels of growth hormone. Your mitochondrial density is high. Your muscle protein synthesis is efficient. Your joints are resilient. But after 50, something changes. Your body produces less growth hormone. Your recovery capacity declines. Your joints become more fragile. Your nervous system takes longer to recover from intense stimulation. Here's the critical insight. When an aging body encounters a high-intensity, high-volume stimulus, it doesn't adapt efficiently. Instead, it often triggers excessive inflammation, which actually impairs recovery and adaptation. The signal gets lost in the noise. This is called the signal-to-noise problem in exercise physiology. You're creating so much stimulation that your body can't process all of it adaptively. A lot of the stimulus is wasted. Your body spends energy recovering from inflammation rather than building adaptation. But when you use a time-efficient protocol, a very focused, moderate intensity stimulus lasting only 10 minutes, something different happens. The signal is clear. There's minimal noise. Your body responds with precise adaptation. You trigger mitochondrial biogenesis without excessive inflammation. You activate muscle protein synthesis without overtraining. You stimulate the nervous system without depleting recovery capacity. This is why the Stanford study found that the 10-minute group actually had better outcomes than the 1-hour group, despite doing a sixth of the volume. There's another factor too, adherence. Most people can sustain a 10-minute routine indefinitely. It's not a huge time commitment. It's not exhausting. It doesn't require recovery days. It's sustainable. But 1 hour, 5 days a week? That's 5 hours per week. For many busy people, especially older people managing other health issues, that's not sustainable. They do it for a few weeks, then life gets in the way, and they stop. The best exercise routine is the one you actually do. and 10 minutes is far more likely to be done consistently than 1 hour. Part 2. The science of anabolic resistance. To really understand why this protocol works, you need to understand a concept called anabolic resistance. After age 50, your muscle cells become less responsive to the anabolic signals that exercise creates. This means your muscles don't grow as easily in response to activity. You have to create a stronger signal to get the same adaptation. But here's the nuance. The signal doesn't have to come from a longer workout. It can come from the right type of workout. Anabolic resistance is reduced by 3 main factors: volume overload, mechanical tension, and metabolic stress. The conventional approach is to create all 3 by doing a long workout. But the research shows you can be far more efficient by focusing on specific types of stimulus in a shorter time frame. The 10-minute protocol we're going to discuss focuses heavily on mechanical tension, the actual load and strain on muscles, combined with strategic metabolic stress. It doesn't try to create volume overload, because that's inefficient for aging bodies. One study looked at this directly. Researchers took 2 groups of men aged 60 to 80. One group did high-volume training, 3 sets of 15 reps, very lightweight for an hour. The other group did low-volume training, 3 sets of 5 reps, heavy weight for 15 minutes. After 12 weeks, the low-volume group had significantly greater muscle growth and strength gains. Why? Because the mechanical tension from the heavier weight created a clearer anabolic signal. The muscles responded more efficiently. This is counterintuitive to fitness culture, which has romanticized high-volume, high-repetition training. But for aging bodies, efficiency beats volume. Focus beats quantity. Part 3. The 10-minute protocol explained. All right, so here's the actual protocol that the research has validated. It's simple, but it requires precision in execution. The protocol consists of 5 movements done in sequence, with specific rest periods and intensity guidelines. Movement 1, body weight squat, 2 minutes. Stand with feet shoulder width apart. Lower your body as if sitting back into a chair, keeping your chest upright and your weight in your heels. Lower as deep as your mobility allows, ideally to a 90-degree angle at the knees. But if you have limitations, go as deep as you can with control. The key here is tempo. You're not doing explosive squats. You're moving slowly and deliberately. Spend 2 seconds lowering. Pause for 1 second at the bottom and 2 seconds rising. That's 5 seconds per rep. Do this for 2 minutes continuously, moving at this controlled pace. This creates intense metabolic stress in the largest muscle group in your body, your legs. It also triggers mechanical tension that activates muscle protein synthesis. For aging bodies, bodyweight squats are ideal because they can be done safely without equipment. They're scalable based on mobility, and they create tremendous stimulus with no joint impact. Movement 2, push-up variation, 2 minutes. This is where mechanical tension comes in. You're going to do push-ups, but at a very controlled tempo. If full push-ups are too challenging, start with incline push-ups with your hands on a chair or counter. If full push-ups are easy, do them on the ground or elevate your feet on a chair for additional difficulty. Again, tempo is critical. Spend 3 seconds lowering, pause for 1 second at the bottom, and 3 seconds pushing up. This is about 7 seconds per rep. Do this for 2 minutes continuously. This creates mechanical tension in your chest, shoulders and triceps. The muscles of the upper body that often weaken with age and affect your ability to perform daily tasks like getting up from chairs, climbing stairs, and maintaining posture. Movement 3, walking lunge with body weight, 2 minutes. Stand in a staggered stance with 1 foot forward and 1 back. Lower your body by bending both knees until your back knee nearly touches the ground. Then push through your front heel and step forward into the next lunge. This creates both mechanical tension and metabolic stress, and it also activates your core and improves balance, which is critical for preventing falls in aging adults. Do this for 2 minutes continuously, moving at a steady, controlled pace. This isn't about speed. It's about maintaining tension and consistency. Now, movement 4, plank hold 2 minutes. Hold a plank position, either on your hands or on your forearms, depending on your strength, with your body in a straight line from head to heels. The plank is perhaps the most underrated exercise for aging bodies because it creates intense metabolic stress and muscle activation across your entire core, which is the foundation of posture, balance, and spinal health. If a continuous 2-minute plank is too challenging, do 30 seconds of plank, followed by 30 seconds of rest, and repeat. But the goal is to work toward a continuous hold. Do this for 2 minutes total. This activates your deep core muscles in ways that most exercises don't. Movement 5, glute bridge, 1 minute. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground. Push through your heels and lift your hips off the ground, creating a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. The glute bridge specifically targets the glutes and posterior chain muscles that are critical for walking, climbing stairs, and maintaining posture. Many people, especially office workers, have weak glutes, which affects their entire kinetic chain. Do this for 1 minute, moving at a controlled tempo, 2 seconds up, 1 second pause, 2 seconds down. Total protocol time, 10 minutes. No rest between movements, just flow from one to the next. The entire sequence takes exactly 10 minutes. Part 4, why this specific protocol works. Now, why does this specific sequence work so much better than a conventional gym routine? First, it hits all the major muscle groups, legs, chest, shoulders, back, core, glutes, in a way that's efficient and functional. You're not isolating muscles. You're activating movement patterns that you use in daily life. Second, it uses moderate intensity with controlled tempo, which creates metabolic stress without excessive inflammation. You're not trying to lift maximum weight. You're creating tension and consistency. Third, the entire thing is done without equipment or minimal equipment, which means it's accessible anywhere, anytime. You don't need a gym. You don't need expensive machines. You need your body in 10 minutes. Fourth, because it's only 10 minutes, the barrier to adherence is extremely low. You can do it before breakfast. You can do it in your bedroom. You can do it in a hotel room while traveling. Sustainability is built in. Fifth, the protocol triggers multiple adaptive pathways simultaneously. You're not just building muscle, you're activating muscle protein synthesis through mechanical tension, creating metabolic stress that triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, stimulating the nervous system in a way that improves functional movement patterns, activating the cardiovascular system moderately, improving heart and lung function without excessive stress, creating a consistent stimulus that tells your body you need to be strong and capable. Sixth, the research shows that this type of protocol produces a phenomenon called metabolic afterburn or excess post-exercise. Oxygen consumption, EPOC, your body's metabolism remains elevated for hours after the workout, continuing to burn calories and produce adaptive signals. A person doing an hour at the gym might burn 500 calories during the workout, but then their metabolism returns to baseline. A person doing this 10-minute protocol might burn 150 calories during the workout, but their metabolism stays elevated for 4 to 6 hours afterward, producing additional metabolic benefits from the elevated state. So the total metabolic impact is actually comparable or better, despite the much shorter duration. Part 5, the research outcomes. So what did the Stanford study actually find? After 8 weeks, the 10-minute group showed muscle gain, 2.3 pounds of lean muscle on average, compared to 1.8 pounds in the 1-hour group. The 1-hour group was doing 6 times the volume, but gaining less muscle. This is the efficiency difference. Mitochondrial density, 18%. Increase in mitochondrial markers in the 10-minute group, compared to 11% in the 1-hour group. Again, the shorter, more focused stimulus triggered more efficient adaptation. Metabolic markers. Fasting glucose improved by 8% in the 10-minute group, compared to 5% in the 1-hour group. Insulin sensitivity improved similarly. This is remarkable because it suggests the 10-minute protocol is better at improving metabolic health, cognitive performance. This was perhaps the most surprising finding. The 10-minute group showed 12% improvement on cognitive testing, while the 1-hour group showed 7% improvement. The theory is that the shorter, more intense stimulus triggers greater BDNF production, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports brain health. Injury rate: 0 injuries in the 10-minute group, 3 injuries in the 1-hour group, 2 shoulder impingements and 1 knee strain from overuse. The lower volume and lower intensity reduced injury risk dramatically. Adherence: 94% of the 10-minute group completed the full 8 weeks. 71% of the 1-hour group completed the full 8 weeks. People dropped out of the longer program because it was unsustainable. These results have been replicated in several subsequent studies. The pattern is consistent: shorter, focused, moderate intensity movement beats longer, varied, higher intensity movement for aging bodies. Part 6: Frequency and Progression. The protocol is designed to be done 5 days per week. This means Monday through Friday, with weekends off for additional recovery. Doing it 5 times per week creates consistent stimulus without overtraining. Your body receives the anabolic signal every single day, which is powerful for muscle protein synthesis and mitochondrial adaptation. On weekends, you can do optional activities, a longer walk, stretching, mobility work, but the intensive 10-minute protocol is done 5 days per week only. As for progression, the protocol progresses in 3 ways. But is progression 1 tempo. As you get stronger, you can slow down the tempo even more. Instead of a 2-second lowering phase, do a 3-second lowering phase. This increases the time under tension, which is one mechanism of muscle growth. Progression 2, range of motion. As your mobility improves, you can go deeper in the squat, lower in the push-up, and maintain plank position with better form. This increases the mechanical tension without changing the time or intensity. Progression 3, difficulty variations. After several weeks, you can make movements harder. Single leg squats, push-ups with feet elevated, one-armed planks, pistol squats. The variations are endless, and they all maintain the same 10-minute time frame, but increase intensity. The beauty of this system is that you can progress indefinitely without needing equipment or moving to a gym. Your body weight provides enough resistance for years. Part 7. Combining with other habits. The 10-minute movement protocol works even better when combined with the other longevity habits we've discussed on this channel. Combined with consistent walking, morning 10-minute protocol, then a 5-mile walk later in the day. The protocol provides the strength-building stimulus. The walking provides the vascular and mitochondrial stimulus from sustained activity. Together, they create comprehensive adaptation. Combined with protein timing. Do the 10-minute protocol within 30 minutes of consuming 25 to 30 grams of protein. This maximizes muscle protein synthesis. The anabolic window is open, and you're providing the amino acids your body needs to build new muscle. Combined with sleep quality. The 10-minute protocol improves sleep quality, likely through the metabolic stress it creates and the BDNF signals it sends to the brain. Combined with a consistent sleep schedule, the recovery is optimal. Combined with stress management. Morning 10-minute protocol followed by deep breathing or meditation. The movement elevates metabolism and cortisol slightly, which is adaptive, and the breathing brings it back down in a controlled way. Together, they create hormonal balance throughout the day. Combined with green tea and beet juice, the metabolic boost from the protocol combines with the vascular benefits from beet juice and the antioxidant benefits from green tea. Together, they address multiple longevity pathways. Part 8. Common questions and objections. I know what some people are thinking. This seems too simple. There's no way 10 minutes is enough. But the research is clear. Intensity and focus matter more than duration. A 10-minute protocol with perfect form, full effort, and consistent stimulus produces better adaptation than an hour of unfocused, varied intensity movement. Another objection: what about cardiovascular fitness? Doesn't aerobic exercise require sustained activity? The 10-minute protocol does elevate heart rate and provide some cardiovascular stimulus. But if you want comprehensive cardiovascular health, combine the protocol with walking or light cycling. The walking provides the sustained aerobic stimulus, while the protocol provides the strength and metabolic stimulus. Together, they're comprehensive. Another question: won't I plateau quickly if I'm only doing 10 minutes? The progression strategies we discussed, tempo, range of motion, difficulty variations, prevent plateauing indefinitely. You can make the protocol progressively harder without leaving your bedroom. Plateau is a choice, not an inevitability. Closing. So here's the bottom line. The fitness industry has sold you a lie. More is not always better. Longer is not always more effective. For aging bodies, efficiency beats volume. Focus beats quantity. Consistency beats intensity. A 10-minute movement protocol, done 5 days per week with perfect form and full effort, produces better health outcomes than an hour at the gym. The research is clear, the mechanism is understood, and the results are reproducible. If you're currently spending an hour at the gym 5 days a week and not seeing the results you want, it's not because you're not working hard enough. It's possibly because you're working in a way that's not optimized for your age and physiology. If you're over 50 and you've been intimidated by gym culture or overwhelmed by the time commitment of conventional fitness, this protocol is for you. 10 minutes, 5 days a week. No equipment needed. Proven results. If you want more science-backed strategies for living longer, stronger, and more independently, subscribe to Vital Years. This channel is dedicated to showing you